Giants traded Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the 10th pick in Thursday's NFL draft. Lawrence has passed his physical. This trade is now official as Lawrence has signed a one-year, $28 million extension that keeps him in Cincinnati for the next 3 years. So the Bengals got a big upgrade after trading for Dexter Lawrence. He has had 123 pressures when lined up as a defensive tackle over the last 4 seasons. Chris Jones is the only player with more over that span. And so now when you look at the trade, Giants get rid of Dexter Lawrence, and the Bengals now get Dexter Lawrence. Let's hear from Dexter Lawrence. Here he is.
They wanted me here, and they appreciate the work that I've put in over the last 7 seasons. And, I appreciate that to them, and I'm going to do everything I can to, show them that they didn't waste it. And I'm excited. I got fire in me that I ain't never had this fire before.
Hey, he's never had that fire before. Who made up better in the trade?
I really believe it's win-win. I really do. And I know this is first take and pick a side. But my perspective on it is Cincinnati finally all in. And all the pressure now falls on Joe Burrow. Cincinnati has been, okay, we'll pay the receivers in. This is all in. This is the most money they have spent as an organization since 21, the year they went to the Super Bowl. They've drafted 1 Pro Bowl defensive player in the last 15 years, Jesse Bates. And so they finally have said, nope. We got to go all in. Now it all falls on Joe because Joe's got to stay healthy and he's got to play his best, okay? This was the necessary move for them to try to capitalize on kind of like this 2-year window. For the Giants, they know they're not true contenders right now. They know they're not. Hopefully in a year for them. And so as Harbaugh comes in, the professional, I know what it looks like and sounds like to be a champion. We're not there yet. Let's trade this player who's a very good player, but he's not going to help us right now to go achieve that goal. And Harbaugh's never had this much early capital. Usually the Baltimore Ravens, they win. They have the 24th to 28th pick. So now you've got this veteran head coach who's highly successful. It gets put his fingerprints on 2 picks. And so I really believe, we'll see what the picks become, but I truly in my heart think this makes sense for both sides.
Well, I'm so touched. Your heart. I mean, it touches your heart. That's very, very touching. Congratulations to you on that. I will say this to you, Dan Orlovsky. Dexter Lawrence is a stud. I'm happy for him. He got the 1-year, $28 million extension. Probably going to negotiate a long-term deal, supposedly. I'm happy for him. In terms of his dollars. My condolences to him, however, to be going to the Cincinnati Bengals, whose offense is prolific, but their defense is trash. We all know this, and he obviously helps improve that. Here's the deal that's interesting, Dan. I got a stat to throw at you. Did you know this? The Cincinnati Bengals have made 62 defensive draft picks since 2011. Did you know that?
I do now.
And not one of them has developed into a Pro Bowler. You talk about something in the water.
Jesse
with
Bates.
something potential.
Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates, right? Jesse Bates. Are you sure about that? You sure about that? Okay, maybe him. That's about it. I'm going like this. Damn, is there something in the water? I mean, there is such a thing as going to a team and all of a sudden dissipating before your very eyes in terms of their quality. We never know with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not talking about Dexter Lawrence. I'm saying this is the kind of effect that damn franchise can have on people. I hope I'm wrong because I'm a huge Jamar Chase fan. I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. I'm a huge T. Higgins fan. I believe in them offensively. Defensively, I've got some questions. I agree with you. I agree with you from the standpoint that, damn, Cincinnati is all in because they deviated. But remember, Trey Hendrickson is not that much older than Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence had 0.5 sacks last year, 33 tackles. Both were career lows. I'm looking at it and I'm saying a guy like Trey Hendrickson, who was giving you about 17 sacks a game, even though that's not what happened last year, you were hesitant to give him his money. I'm looking at them and I'm saying, okay, it's the right move. I don't disagree with you. I just don't trust that anything is fully right when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals. That's all I'm trying to say. I get where you're coming from. I'm in no position to disagree with you, Dan. I just don't trust them, that they truly know what they're doing. And I hope that I'm wrong about that when it comes to Dexter Lawrence.
Okay, so a couple things. First of all, one, and I want you to answer this after I get done. You say condolences. This team should very much so be in the conversation for division favorites now. And I understand you bring up Trey, But
agree.
Then where are the condolences? He's going to a place that's got a superstar offense, MVP caliber quarterback.
I'm saying
they signed Boye Mafe. They signed Brian Cook. It's a much-improved talent defense.
I feel you.
This should be a much better unit with the addition of Dexter Lawrence.
They should be a much improved defense, okay? But even then, we've looked at them and we've said to ourselves throughout the years, there were expectations. Even last year may not have been the case, but there have been expectations with this team, and they've come up short. Obviously, the injury bug, anytime Joe Burrow gets hurt, which seems to be often, that's something they haven't been able to seem to rectify. We've looked at Zach Taylor. I personally called for an investigation into his offseason activities since they ain't never ready to play come September. I stand by that. I really, really stand by that. I know if it were me, I'd hire an investigator. What the hell are you doing that this team is never ready to play at the beginning of September? The season starts for everybody else, all right, on a certain date, and for Zach Taylor, it's always 2-3 weeks later, even though this last season, he rectified that, and then Joe Burrow got hurt. 3 times in Joe Burrow's 6 years, the man has practically missed the damn season. Why? Because they have failed to protect him, putting him in the same conditions over and over and over again, and subjecting him to a level of punishment that even had you wondering whether or not Joe Burrow was going to want to play football again. Until he came out and finally said to everybody, listen, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. I'm just saying, those nuggets, your football analysis, I'm in no position to question it. I'm simply making the case that somehow with the Cincinnati Bengals, something goes wrong. There was 2 years when they went to back-to-back AFC Championship games and a Super Bowl appearance. That was the highlight. Other than that, we've been talking about the days of Kenny Anderson with Sam Weish and all of that stuff. We've been talking about them for decades because that's how inept they have been. That's who we're talking about when we're saying the Cincinnati Bengals. That is where my condolences for Dexter Lawrence comes into play. It may be unfounded based on the changes they've made this offseason. But what I'm saying to you is they give me cause to pause. Anytime they want to do something, I'm wondering whether it was the right move because it's the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what I'm saying. Is that clear?
A lot of times when things have gone wrong, it's been injuries, and it's been injuries particularly to your quarterback. But I will say this about Dexter.
Well, Shay, what did I just say, Shay? I just said the position that Joe Burrow has been put in to get in.
It's been a little
That's what I said. Dan lamented that. All of them lamented that.
If he's healthy, though, they do tend to win games. They do tend to do things the right way. But hold on.
Because he's a stud.
The problem here with this is, one, now that you say, and I know they've made multiple offseason acquisitions, this is obviously the headliner. They did get rid of Trey Hendrickson, which is a problem. But Dexter Lawrence did not have a good year last year, and the year before that, he was banged up.
No, he didn't.
Are we certain we're going to get the version of Dexter Lawrence we saw 3 years ago to give Cincinnati that boost?
We're not.
I mean, but
we're not, which means it's plausible that the Giants might have hoodwinked the Bengals.
Hoodwinked? I think Dexter Lawrence is going into his 7th or 8th year. He's not in his
seventh
in the NFL.
7th, 8th year. He's been there 7 years. Go ahead.
This guy is a very much so impactful interior defensive line. He would never have the sack totals that Trey Hendrickson would because the different style of position. I mean, anytime you're making a acquisition of a player, there's always the concern or not question mark, am I going to get the same one? But I think Cincinnati, and we got to give them credit, Stephen A. Like, yes, we are hard on them, rightfully so, when they don't step up. They've stepped up.
Credit.
They sat there and said, Dexter Lawrence is better than the player that we are anticipating drafting at the defensive position.
And you kept the same coach. So guess what? We might be looking at all that. Hold on. Oh, stop it. An investigation needs to be done. I'm just telling you about what this man does in the offseason. They're never ready. Let me tell you. You know what? He might be a great offensive coordinator disguised as a head coach. He might be that. You understand? He may not be the leader of men that you need him to be. We don't know that, Dan. All I'm trying to say to you is this. It looks nice in the offseason. Very nice. But when September rolls around, call me. Because I swear to you, if they're struggling in September, I'm going to be looking. You ain't going to have to tweet. You ain't going to be. There's no place on earth. There's no place on earth that you are going to be able to hide if Cincinnati struggles in the month of September.
I got no desire to hide from you. I never have and I never will.
I'll drive to whatever city in Connecticut just to come to your house and say, see, didn't I tell you about that damn Zach Taylor? Didn't I tell you about him? That's all I'm trying to say. It remains to be seen.
If they're healthy,
we got to see them play. We got to see them in September 1st.
If they're healthy, if they stay healthy for the most part, they play bad and are the second best team in the division.
I will say this about Zach Taylor. He actually might give the Bengals an edge considering it's the only team in the AFC North that has consistency with their head coach. Right. So maybe this year Zach Taylor actually has an edge the first couple of games of the season, Stephen A.
Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? In the preseason, before a game is played, I have no problem with anybody who says Cincinnati Bengals going to win the AFC North. It makes perfect sense based on their roster. Absolutely. They should be the favorites. But then the games get played. And once the game starts, especially in the month of September, they always on the come up. That's all I'm trying to say. They didn't do it. They won the first 2 games this year. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously Joe Burrow got hurt. But for the previous 6 years, I mean, never in September. I mean, it's like damn. Somebody told them the season starts in October.
Can you say one nice thing about them?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Can you give them credit for at least making the moves to shoot their shot and going all in?
They deserve. Well, first of all, especially since they're one of the 2 teams in the NFL without a damn GM. I mean, go figure. But the bottom line is this: they deserve credit where credit is due. They made moves in the offseason. They've upgraded their roster. They prioritized defense, and while still keeping Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins in the house, which is prolific. Their offense is all world, no doubt about it. I just want us to stop talking about their head coach like he a head coach when, in fact, he ain't been nothing but an offensive coordinator the last 2 or 3 years. They haven't had a defense. A matter of fact, you got to take the D out of the defense. You know what I'm saying? They've been so bad defensively, you should take the E out of the Bengals. You understand what I'm saying? Pick another letter to add in there. Take out the E. You know, this is ridiculous, man. They don't do anything defensively. It's just the truth. I know there's no D in Bengals. But the point is, they haven't done anything right defensively, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. And that's just where I'm at with it. It's just the truth.
Just said
it's just the
D
truth.
out of Bengals.
The good news is there's only one way to go, and that's up. What an opportunity for Dexter Lawrence. All right, coming up here on First Take, it's Monday. The LeBron and the Lakers capitalize.